Hi and welcome to my videos. I want to share some thoughts about my, how to say, childhood and trauma, if I can say it like that, from when I was in school. I had, at least in my last year in school, I had this really rude and mean teacher. Like, as far as I know, no one in my class really did like her. And yes, I have a knot, so I have to unknot it. Um, she was named Tove. She was of an older generation. I understand that makes it slightly harder for her as a human being to understand the concept of a trans person, because before I could understand it myself, I also struggled with it, although I just knew from a very young age. I'm not a girl, I know what I am, I just don't have the vocabulary to explain it, until I did, of course. Um, Tove, if you are somehow ending up watching this, you were my teacher from the year 2014 till 15 at Lier videregående in the class 2BUB, barne- og ungdom class B. You were a horrible person back then, and most likely am today as well. I'm not going to say your last name, although it's imprinted in my brain, but like, you were a dick of a teacher. You made me so furious so many times. First off, I get yelled at for being late all the time, which is actually not my fault. Again, it was the school bus. The official school bus came late, then delivered me late. That's not my fault. And yet, you still have the audacity in the start of the school year to call in me and also my mom and like, yeah, but blah, 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 blah. He's coming late and like, you can't keep doing that and keep missing like almost an hour of the school day and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, I said, I know. I want to be here on time. Why do you think I take the school bus in the first place? I can't take any more buses. But like, can't you just take an earlier bus? No, I cannot. I then explained then I will have to get up at 5 a.m., take the bus at 6 a.m., and be at school at 7:45. School starts at 8:30 in the morning, and on Wednesdays it's done by 4 p.m. So no, I will not take any earlier buses to get to school, and I'd frankly rather would not be here. I would rather work, but I was forced to try finish my education. So here I am. Be glad for that. Um, I also heard the same kind of argument from my mom. She was like, "You're kidding, right? You know, my kid is going up at 6 a.m. That's earlier than me. And then taking the bus at 07:15 every single day, but also being 10 minutes early to the bus just to be sure to catch it because it's not consistent on when I actually get there to the bus stop." And Tove was like, yeah, but like you're still late, so we have to figure something out for that. And then she had remembered something I had said to my friends that she had somehow miraculously overheard in the cantina in school, that I have a relative in Drammen, which is like the closest town to where my high school was, at least the big town. And she was like, can't you just go to that relative and stay there for the weekdays and then go home in the weekends? I was like, absolutely not. I have not asked my relative for that. I have not uh, even considered it because I wanted to be home. I didn't want to have to move between weekdays and weekends. It's like, why would I? And then my mom got really mad and she's like, okay, I'm leaving. This meeting is senseless. You are trying to force my kid to get up at 5 a.m., take a bus at 6 and be here by 7:45, 7:30 at the earliest, and then wait for about an hour for school to start. That's unreasonable. Like, my kid is not that happy in the school in the first place. I will not make them do that. And then we left, and my mom was so furious, and I salute her for that. My teacher, Tove, not happy at all. That's her fault. The school year went so. I probably did a lot of things I shouldn't have, like said things to my teacher, which probably uh, helped her in not liking me or being a dickhead to me. But like, I'm not the only one she bullied. Tove, you were a bully. You were not supposed to be a teacher. You were not a good teacher either. It's like, I think it was just before Christmas. There was this one chapter uh, during that school year where it was a small chapter. We read it in a day, or rather an hour or so. But like, we didn't understand what it was supposed to tell us. And we begged and begged you to please teach it to us. What did you answer? You just have to read it and then you will get it. And we're like, no, but we don't get it. We have tried now for 4 hours and we have a test with this chapter in the test tomorrow, which you yourself have said. And as far as I know, none in my class did understand it, and you refused to help, which I also told my mom, and I think I went to the vice principal to tell it also, because the next time we asked you to help us, you did, without question. And that's kind of probably also a reason why you didn't like me, because I said, hey, Tovi's not doing her job, and blah blah blah. I also quite remember during the last few days before the last exam we had in that year, where you, Tove, went from standing in the front of the class to standing right next to my desk, exactly 10 centimeters from my top right corner, and you have the papers in your hand. I will actually demonstrate. Like, you take the papers, write it up, and like, just because it is on the paper, Maria, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what did you say? Just because it is on the paper, Maria, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, come again? And I was fuming. I I believe some in my class that year who saw me kind of said my face went so red with anger, and uh, you could kind of see and hear like a train's uh, flute, almost like I was so mad. You were so close to me. I could have punched you in the gut. I could have punched you in the knees. I could have punched you, kicked you. What the hell? I did not. And I'm glad I didn't, because then you could have told people I assaulted you, which I kind of and still firmly believe would have actually not been assault on you, because you violated my rights as a human being. You humiliated me and you dead named me. Although my class knew my dead name, that's not the problem, because I had been honest from day one. They knew it hurt me. I was so mad. I picked up my bag. I did everything in my might to not hit your ugly face. And yes, you were ugly. I still don't understand how you could have a husband, how you could have grandchildren. I don't know. I am baffled by it, because you're a horrible, horrible human being. And yes, I know, and I'm perfectly capable of knowing that older generation people who have no idea or understanding of trans people uh, know what kind of dick move this is. I understand that, but she had known me for a year by then by the name Axel. I had never used my old name on any kind of tests I did written. I I was just so fuming, mad, upset, hurt. Um, I wanted so badly to slam the door behind me as I stormed out of the classroom with my bag and just went home, because I was done for the day. I was so done. And I distinctly remember my classmates actually yelling to you, Tove, like, what the F was that for? Why did you do that? That was so unnecessary. That itself for me was a victory, but I was still so done, and I knew that if I went back inside, I would have punched you until you broke your nose. And I'm a small person. I'm like 165 centimeters tall, at the most. You were probably 176 till 180. And you wore high heels. And you were older. And you were a female. I don't want to punch females. I don't want that on my record. But I so badly wanted to destroy that ugly face of yours after that. But I never did. Never hurt you, other than saying things to hurt you, because I was genuinely mad at you for the rest of my time at school. I know you at least were back then quite impressed at me actually not failing the exam. I did my best, and you did tell me that you thought I was going to fail. And I asked why. Because you're not paying attention in my class. You're never in my class. I'm like, I'm not in your class. I'm in the other teacher's class. And why are you not in my class? Why have you not been? Because I can't stand your ugly face, you blech. I was quite verbal. I may have said some words I today would not have. I'm just going to have to check the pattern. Okay, so there's just one increase there and two at the end. Okay. So yeah, I was so fuming mad. I understand that my last thing I said to you that school year was probably some of the rudest or more hurtful things any teacher could receive at the end of the school year when we're having candy and trying to have a good day and just like it's the last time we see each other, blah blah blah. I so greatly remember that the last thing I said to you, Tove, and you honestly were shocked. And I laughed in your face afterwards because I really meant it. I distinctly remember after you having said, here's your card with the scores and like your grade card, and it's been a fun ride, blah blah blah, the same old speech for teachers give when like hope we see each other sometime and blah blah. And I'm like, I hope you die a violent death tomorrow, and I would happily dance on your grave. It looked like you got tears in your eyes, but I genuinely didn't like you. I shouldn't have to say that to make anyone feel like that. I shouldn't have to say that, but like when you dead name me and do it on purpose, although you know my preferred name and that I have had wanted to change my name for quite a while but couldn't do it until I had turned 18 and blah blah blah. It's like, I don't have any problem with the name Marie. I was named Marie on Norwegian at birth. I don't have a problem with the name itself, it just does not fit me. It was never my name. I liked Axel. Axel was me, it felt me. And when I from the first day say, hey, I know what the paper says, that is not me, blah blah blah, please respect that. That's all I said. And you chose to become a dick to me and tried to force me to get to school far earlier than I should have. You tried to push me as a problem kid onto some relatives who live closer just so I could take that school bus instead. And yeah, no. Uh, I still remember your voice, your face, your disgustingly bad coffee breath. Yes, it was bad. I also know I have complained of it to you several times during that year for 9 years ago. I honestly don't know how to react if I see you today on the streets. According to your Facebook, you are still alive, most likely not employed anymore at Lier videregående. I don't care about that. I just know that if I ever see your ugly face again, I will repeat what I said the last time I saw you. I hope you die a violent death tomorrow, and I will happily dance on your grave afterwards. I should not wish that upon anyone. I should not have to say it to anyone, but like being a teacher and bullying your student, obviously there's going to be some bad blood. And this was the teacher I had by far who were the worst of teachers I've had. It's like one time I got a sudden pain in my jaw, toothache, because my first wisdom tooth, that one, wanted to push into my molars and like, yeah, no, I'm gonna go out. I had a big test the day I had to go to the dentist. The day before, when it started to become super ill, I sent you an SMS on your private phone just to inform you, like, hey, I know I was supposed to bring this and that. I can't because I have to go to the dentist because I have such a bad toothache. I cannot think, I cannot drink, I cannot eat. And on the SMS thread, you were like, yeah, that's no problem. Go take care of yourself. Hope you get well. Come back soon. And then I do come back during the last part of the day. And I'm throwing up because of the long way from the public bus stop up to the school. And do you respect that I'm barfing and trying to catch my breath? No. You come to me and yell at me in front of many people I know because I'm not in the classroom for the last 15 minutes of the lesson. I'm like, yeah, I would have been if I could catch my breath and not barf. And you just sent me away. And I remember my friends back then saying to you and actually yelling at you, like, give him a break. He's barfing, he cannot breathe. Let him breathe for God's sake. And you were like, no, go back to class at once. And I'm like, no, yeah, I will when I can catch my breath. And it'll take a few minutes. And I also have to pee. Because I always have to pee. And yeah, I actually also know that someone else in my class was refused to buy you, Tova, to work with their best friends who they did work quite good with, just because, but you have to get to know your whole class. Yes, they did work with the whole class, but when you specifically say work with your best friend or find someone you want to work with, and they sit together and want to work together, and you're like, no, you two cannot work together. What the hell? What a bloody mess. Just like, what's going on? Why are you doing this to them? And that's when you gave me a relief. And then when winter came, no one from where I lived on the school bus got to school that day. And you yelled at me. And you also got quite mad at me for going into It's Learning and filling out the days I was gone myself. I did that for the first year of high school. No problem. They told us to do it ourselves because we knew when we were not around. And you were like, no, I have to do that. You're not supposed to do that. And I'm like, yeah, but every time I'm gone and you have, when you have remembered to actually fill in those days, you put in the wrong days and time. And then I had to correct that and put in myself, and you just gave up on keeping track on my days on and off. I did that myself perfectly fine. So, yeah. It was like you often also said you have to deliver a test on Fronter, some kind of uh, online fora thingy where you submit things to the teacher, some learning thingy, same as with it's learning. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna send it by it's learning. I can log into that. I understand how that works. I don't understand Fronter, never have, never will. Unless you sit next to me and tell me where to click, and I will click myself, but you have to tell me because I will do everything wrong. So, yeah, this is some of my backstory, and I get quite emotional often when I talk about it. I understand it could be much, but this is like the light version of some of my annoyances with my past. I could tell quite a lot more uh, if I feel like it, but as of now, this is what I had on my heart. And I do want to address yet again, if I ever see you, Tove, on the streets and you stop me, I will yell, I will be mad, I will be hurt, and I will repeat what I said the last time I saw you. I hope you'll die a violent death tomorrow, and I'll happily dance on your grave. I should not wish that upon anyone. I really shouldn't. I really don't want to. But this teacher deserves it. And everyone who's had to put up with that teacher before me, I feel bad for you, because I know by my own experience, of course, and what I heard when I went to that school, that you were never liked. You never were. Perhaps by some few students, but most of them, no. I actually also know that a lot of the brightest students in your subjects on purpose missed your classes just because they couldn't stand your ugly face. So, yeah, this is stuff from 9 years ago. I know it's gone by a long shot. It just, it stays in here, it's a bad experience, and a whole year, and like, bad experiences fester in your mind. The good ones, you barely notice them. Life is hard, and I wish anyone who are willing to watch through all of this, I wish you take care of yourself, that you speak to someone if you need to, and that you seek help if needed. Just talking itself, it's very hard. I've been to therapy a lot of times. It's hard. But in the end, it's worth so much more than holding on to your anger or whatnot. So, yeah. I hope you stay safe and keep happy with things you like. For example, music, craft work, like crocheting, knitting, sewing, embroidery, physical activity if you like that, video games, anything fun. So enjoy life as best you can. I'm sometimes still stuck in the past, like I kind of was in this video, and it's okay. Sometimes you just are. And if you feel like talking about it, you can hit me up. Like, if I could, I I am going to make a Facebook page for my crochet one time when I get to it, because I'm lazy. That's the only reason I have not made it. This is going to be a sloth. I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, like, this has also become quite a long video. It's now 02:15 and I should be going to bed because there's like 10 hours until I have to go to a doctor's appointment, and I don't feel sleepy yet. So yeah, I'm going to take that up with him because I have taken the sleeping pill 2 hours ago. I'm still wide awake. By 4 or 5 a.m. the pill will effectively start. I'm going to tomorrow actually try to take it like 10 p.m. to see how I react to it then. But yeah, like, yeah. Stay safe, happy crocheting, and whatever you're doing to keep calm and happy. And yeah, bye.